On Monday's podcast, we use the analogy of a baseball player who's willing to bunt, to give himself up, sacrifice his at-bat so his teammate can move from first base to second. I hope you had a chance to listen, and I hope you've been applying it. It was all designed to help us build toward creating a legacy. Now, legacy, as we said the other day, is something, it's an 80-year-old birthday kind of thought to think about creating a legacy. And here we are on a Wednesday, and we're in the middle of a new week. It's grind time as we think about it. And really, that's the picture of being willing to sacrifice. It is a person who's willing to show up every day and grind it out so someone else can benefit. I want to share another picture with you today. I have a friend named Shane he's a fantastic leader. A couple years ago, we're spending some time together, and we're working on a blueprint for his life. We're doing some coaching together, and the picture he shared, when I asked him, I said, what do you think about every morning when you wake up? He said, I think about myself as an offensive lineman. And I've got here with me my tape, and Shane said, I picture myself every morning taping up my fingers, getting ready for a new day, and I'm thinking about how can I make holes in the line of defense. There's going to be a lot of opposition today, but how can I blow holes in that line so the people that I'm leading can actually make progress, so they can score touchdowns. Now, if you know much about football, you know that the offensive linemen aren't getting their names in the paper very much. They're not very famous. You might not even be able to name very many offensive linemen at all. You probably can name some quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers, all the guys who score touchdowns. But there's power in the offensive lineman. It's an unsung job. It is an important job. If the linemen weren't there, nobody would be scoring. In fact, good coaches will tell you that the people who control the line of scrimmage, the linemen, they're the ones who determine the outcomes of the games. As a leader, let me remind you that you're going to determine the outcome of the game for those that you lead. It is your job to wake up every day, think about how can you blow holes in the line, how can you remove the opposition so the people that you're leading can score, so that they can move to the next base, so they can find the end zone, however you want to think about that. Now, let me remind you of this. If you're going to demonstrate care for the people, or you're going to be a servant leader, you got to check your motive. It's important for you to go back to your heart and ask yourself, why are you doing this? If it's ultimately for you, they'll see right through that, and ultimately it'll stall their progress, and it'll actually hurt your reputation as a leader. But if your motive is correct, and you really do care about your people, you really do think others first, you really can remind yourself that it's not about you, it's for you, but it's actually about someone else, then all of a sudden the people around you can flourish, they can thrive. As we say, people need a great leader. And when leaders get better, when leaders have the right motive, everything around them gets better. So let me remind you today, if you want to demonstrate care for those you lead, you have to start by caring for those you lead. If you're really going to demonstrate care, you have to care. So if you'll do that, if you'll take on this mindset of an offensive lineman, a person who doesn't need their name in the paper, they don't have to worry about their reputation. They're just going to show up every day. They're going to block so someone else can score. You'll be a leader that others will want to follow. I challenge you to do that. It's grind time, middle of the week here. Let's keep crushing it and making sure that we're making a hole so others can score.